in the house was the wife of Rex Heuermann and Rex Heuermann and the other girl. The other girl who we believe to be Karen Vergata.
What?
This girl disappears downstairs at the house. Rex Heuermann disappears. And according to our witness and other witnesses I've talked to, when men are swingers with their partner, very often they switch sexually. They go back and forth between male and female. And so Heuermann leaves the main floor and disappears either into another bedroom or downstairs. It's not clear. And the witness talks to Rex's wife. She doesn't want to have sex like she had expected to occur because our client believes because our client is an African-American woman. And Heuermann didn't like that. Ellerup, rather, didn't like that.
Uh-oh.
So there was no sex between them, as was originally planned. Instead, the sex is between Heuermann and the other man.
What?
At some point, the witness goes looking for her partner and is kind of upset that he doesn't emerge. He emerges, and finally, they leave, and kind of in a hurry.
So this witness one said that Rex had sex with both the woman, you think that is Vergata, and this other man, like I'm an off-duty detective. So knowing that indicates he's probably potentially bisexual. Does that make him more of a leading suspect in an Asian male?
Listen, anything is possible.
John, can I ask you, is James Burke involved in any of this?
Well, I can't say he is, and I can't say he's not. He certainly reactivated interest in himself by what he did up on Bald Hill, which, by the way, you probably know that it's a notorious place for men picking up other men. I've represented several clients from that hill for that very same thing, and Burke was a street smart cop. He's even noted in his disciplinary record for being extremely streetwise. He would have known what goes on up on that hill, but he also would have known the risk he was taking, and he took it anyway. Burke, the risk taker, emerges, first of all, and second of all, Burke, who is interested in men, emerges, which is very much consistent with what I had said for years, that he was cross-dressing when he was with some of my clients, including Loretta Rickenbacker, and that he had that other interest. Do those other interests matter? Sure they do. If you're going to look at the old police department and see why did Burke get to where he went so easily? Could it be that there's more sexual improprieties on higher levels than we originally thought? It's something that should be looked into.
Yeah, but this name that we kept hearing, Burke, I kept referencing Burke. I was wondering, like, who's Burke? Who's Burke? And so Burke, suspected Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann, may have met disgraced Police Chief James Burke while gay cruising in Long Island, according to prosecutors. What's great gay cruising? John Ray, a lawyer for families of two women found dead on the East New York Peninsula, says several sources have contacted him over the past month to say they previously encountered Heuermann roaming the area looking for casual sex. This comes after the former Gilgo cop Burke was busted for allegedly offering oral sex to an undercover cop male park ranger at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Park, Farmingville, an area known for gay cruising. Wow. Cruising in this context means walking or driving around a locality, cruising ground in search of anonymous one-time partner. Long Island is allegedly littered with gay cruising grounds, including the area where Burke was arrested, known colloquially as Pickle Park. What in the heck is that? What the hell going on? Yeah, this is what y'all been talking about? This is what y'all been covering? Pickle Park. Let me tell you, Google that. I'm going to have to... Pickle Park. Pickle... I'm afraid to even show you guys. Let me just search it on my own on the side. Pickle Park. Wow. Hell nah, bruh. Okay. So this is the cop. James Burke busted last week for allegedly offering oral. Yeah, this guy exposing all kinds of John Ray. Some longtime Suffolk County residents who asked not to be identified revealed to Daily Mail that there are many pickle parks along the island and that they are a breeding ground for sexual activity, prostitution, and drugs. That's the first time in my life I ever heard of Pickle Park. Attorney Ray has also been looking into these hunting grounds in the most recent development of his decade-long campaign to secure justice for the woman killed. He said several sources have told him key suspect Heuermann, 59, was also known on the local gay cruising scene, and there's no question this link could have brought him into contact with Burke. Wow. I have several people who contact me because they don't want to talk to the police and they have real fears and they don't want their families to know, but they've shared with me that Rex is a cruiser. Obviously, it's all the word of mouth and evidence is hard to come by, but I've had several people tell me the same thing. Ray added that he is urging Suffolk County Police to investigate any potential social ties between the two men. Burke was charged on August 22 with offering a sex act, indecent exposure, public lewdness, and criminal solicitation in the 5th degree after he was detained near Pickle Park. It only came a month after Daily Mail exclusively revealed that Burke bungled the investigation. Ooh, so is there something there? Are they lovers and he's like helping out his serial killer, allegedly pickle friend, into the Giggle Beach killings and led a double life that allegedly included smoking crack, cross-dressing, and relationships with prostitutes. That's pretty crazy. That's what he was talking about. The cop bungled the investigation. So what did he do? He screwed up the investigation. And so this cop was over here smoking crack, allegedly, and cross-dressing in relationships. And that's interesting because, as they mentioned during this press from this guy, that one of the victims that were killed was, I believe, like a trans person, transsexual, Asian transsexual. Interesting. Daily Mail has contacted the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office and Heuermann's attorney in regard to Ray's claims. Oh, no.
The Rangers ascertained that our perpetrator involved was identified as James Burke, former chief of the Suffolk County Police Department.
An undercover operation at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Brookhaven ends up with one of the county's infamous ex-cops under arrest for soliciting a man.
He was expressing to us how this would, be a public humiliation for him.
James Burke used to wear 4 stars as the highest-ranking police officer.
He was worried about them coming out with this information. Damn.
In Suffolk County.
Chief, do you have anything else to say?
Then the FBI arrested him in 2015, accusing him of beating burglary suspect Christopher Loeb while Loeb was handcuffed in a police precinct.
I got choked, I got punched, I got slapped, I got kicked.
Now Burke's been arrested again, accused by park rangers of soliciting a male undercover ranger for a sex act near the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Brookhaven.
At 10:15 a.m. today, during this operation, they engaged one individual who was soliciting for sexual engagement.
The charges: offering a sex act, public lewdness, indecent exposure, criminal solicitation. 10 years ago, Chris Loeb said the former police chief was enraged that Loeb, a drug user, stole sex toys and porn tapes from Burke's official police vehicle. The former Suffolk District Attorney, Tom Spoda, eventually went to federal prison for trying to cover up the crime. He was a longtime mentor to Burke, beginning when Spoda, a young prosecutor, recruited a 13-year-old Burke as the star witness against other boys in the murder of John Pius behind Dogwood Elementary School in Smithtown. As a uniformed cop, Burke was later investigated by Internal Affairs on allegations he consorted with sex worker Loretta Rickenbacker and didn't secure
Rickenbacker
for his police gun. That didn't stop Tom Spoda from naming Burke as the top investigator in the DA's office once Spoda rose to power. The two men were later accused of stopping the FBI from helping to solve the Gilgo Beach serial killer case. Nearly 13 years after the first bodies were found, an architect from Massapequa Park, Rex Heuermann, was accused of killing 3 of the women dumped near Ocean Parkway. The chief of Park Police in Suffolk County told reporters his team was addressing quality of life complaints from people in Brookhaven. The officer who made the arrest from the Targeted Response Unit did not realize who he was dealing with at first.
That's gotta be Man, so they all catching L's. Wow. Pickle Park.
Good afternoon. I'm John Ray, and I'm the lawyer for several of the victims' families of the Gilgo Beach, Oak Beach killer or killers. I'm here today, this afternoon, to address the press conference held on behalf of the Ellerup family moments ago. Let us start with this. It is not just a considered opinion, but it is undeniable that the Ellerup family are not the victims. They are not the victims. It is the Ellerup family that is trying to make a living off of this horrifying thing that occurred in their house, under their watch, under their eyes, under their supervision. As to Mrs. Ellerup should be considered a suspect. There are 2 of her hairs found on 2 of the bodies. And it doesn't matter what was said at the beginning of this investigation, she is a suspect. This man, T-Rex Heuermann, engaged in the use of sex workers over the years, many of them, over and over again in his home. Mrs. Ellerup was present in this tiny little home when that occurred. I have a witness, first-hand knowledge of that. The witness refuses to come forward, but I've spoken at length with the witness and she is credible. Mrs. Ellerup, involving herself in her husband's depredations with regard to sex workers, using them over and over and over again in his home, is part of the criminal enterprise.
Wow. What a mess. Of course, those are accusations, you know. I don't know. We don't know. But, wow. Damn, yo, is it getting hopped up? What is this? Oh, shit. Go play the oxys. Can we clip it? How does the clip thing work? It's like an option to clip shit.
At Critic Susan from Twitter asks, where did all the money Alex misappropriated go? I'm not buying his opioid addiction unless he was taking gold-plated Oxycontin.
Oh, let's go!
Yeah, I don't know. You're right, and I find it hard to believe
Oxy, you spending millions on. Come on.